Was Katie secretly still tied to Bart, and did a bitter breakup push him over the absolute edge? Did the ocean really take Nolan Wells? Or was an 18-year-old boy swallowed whole by a small town's most terrifying, well-guarded secret? Forget the official narrative. Forget the tidy, convenient lies handed out by local authorities. Because the water didn't kill him, the jealousy did. And the countdown to the ultimate exposure has officially begun. To uncover a motive that a whole community is trying to bury, you have to follow the raw power and the hidden history. Set against the sun-soaked backdrop of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, Bart Edmondson Jr. wasn't just a regular resident, he was untouchable. A 21-year-old powerhouse college football punter equipped with a booming leg and terrifyingly deep-rooted family connections stretching straight into local medical elites, regional power players, and law enforcement, Bart was the undisputed big dog of the town. And to a guy carrying that level of inflated ego and untouchable status, his former high school sweetheart, Katie, was viewed as a permanent possession. According to deep-dive internet sleuths and whispered local accounts, Katie and Bart shared a lengthy, complex history. They had been high school sweethearts who dated intensely before a reported, messy breakup. But when you operate like local royalty, letting go of control is simply not an option. Rumors began circulating through the grapevine that Katie had firmly closed that chapter, moved on with her life, and was actively establishing a connection with Nolan Wells. To an alpha-status athlete with everything to prove, his ex-girlfriend associating with another young man wasn't just a simple change of heart, it was viewed as public disrespect. It crossed into forbidden territory. The stage for disaster was officially set. Fast forward to the 4th of July. A massive holiday boat party on the water, packed with hundreds of people, loud music, and chaotic energy. Amidst that sea of bodies, Nolan allegedly made what would become a fatal mistake: he got way too close to Katie. Witness statements and leaked interviews from the inner circle dropped massive red flags that cannot be ignored. Warren, a close friend tied directly to the core group, admitted during questioning that the absolute last time he laid eyes on Nolan, the teenager was openly cradling Katie, with his arms completely wrapped around her. Warren even confessed that he looked right at Nolan in that moment and thought to himself, "Dude, you crazy." Why crazy? Because everyone inside that tight-knit, insular circle knew exactly how Bart operated and what he was capable of. Long before the sun hit its peak that day, Nolan's own so-called best friends were already actively icing him out. They were ignoring his phone calls and trying to quietly ditch him before the boats even launched from the shore. Why? Because the word had spread like wildfire, Bart was back in town. And nobody wanted to trigger the wrath of the golden boy. And Warren completely exposed the anxiety of the group right on camera. Pushed out to face public media scrutiny, Warren tried to maintain a cool, collected exterior. He claimed Nolan was his closest friend, yet he tripped over his own tongue by admitting he had never even stepped foot inside Nolan's house in a small town where everyone knows everyone. But the smoking gun of the interview? In the middle of a rehearsed sentence, Warren accidentally let Bart's actual name slip out of his mouth, before frantically freezing and overcorrecting to "my buddy." Think about that. If they were truly innocent friends dealing with a tragic, accidental drowning, why panic? Why sweat under pressure? Why scramble so desperately to hide who was actually present on that island? For weeks following the tragedy, the official cover-up story pushed by the inner circle was spotless and airtight. Bart wasn't even on the scene. He supposedly wasn't even in the state. The narrative claimed he had been locked away hundreds of miles away in Wyoming for an entire year playing college football. A pristine, unshakable alibi designed to keep him completely out of the crosshairs. Except digital footprints, public documents, and public records do not lie. When Official Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, requests finally tore open the Coast Guard's classified missing person logs, the truth came crashing down. Guess whose name was printed in black and white right there on the official emergency call sheets the very next morning? Bart Edmondson Jr. The man who supposedly wasn't anywhere near Mississippi was actively making panic-driven emergency calls at 10:05 a.m. Layer that devastating realization directly on top of the leaked, enhanced marine audio pulled from the chaos on the water, where multiple voices can distinctly and clearly be heard screaming in absolute terror, "Damn it, Bart, stop. If Bart was hundreds of miles away freezing in Wyoming, who exactly were they yelling at with such desperation? Was an explosive, violent physical altercation sparked by pure, unfiltered, toxic jealousy over his ex-girlfriend, Katie, and did an entire network of friends choose to go completely dark to protect their star player's million-dollar NFL future? The walls are officially closing in on the narrative. High-profile civil rights attorneys like Ben Crump have stepped into the arena, heavy-hitting legal pressure is mounting, official subpoenas are landing, and the protective, invisible shield of small-town privilege is shattering into a million pieces. Nolan Wells didn't just evaporate into thin air like a ghost. Someone walking around that island knows the absolute, unvarnished truth of what happened in the dark. Do you seriously believe that 400 people just abandoned a teenager on a deserted island by pure coincidence, or did Bart's toxic jealousy over Katie lead to a brutal, fatal confrontation? Drop your honest theories in the comments below right now, smash that like button to feed the algorithm, and subscribe to stay ahead of every major update. We will not stop until every single person involved faces true accountability.